You have terrible selection in earbuds, by the way.
They fit
I'm
me
impressed.
perfectly.
I'm impressed that they work so far apart. My headset is like you have to pop the right ear in, and then the left only works when it's like this far away. If you go this far away, it doesn't work. It
The
sucks.
fuck?
Nah, dude. Okay, yours are toast. That's
Yours are
insane.
actually ass.
I can separate these by like 30 feet and they'll be fine.
That's incredible. I wish that I could use like one or the other, but it has to be the right one. It's awful. It's the worst
That
design.
sucks. Also, don't have that problem with these ones, which is one of the reasons I keep buying them.
I buy the J-Labs. Or actually, I don't buy the J-Labs. I've had them since high school. They still work.
Damn,
Yup.
That's-
$50.
that's solid.
Probably the best $50 I've ever spent. The only problem is that my phone, it likes to like stay connected to my phone constantly. So
Yeah.
like even though when I disconnect it and not disconnect it, but I'm like, yep, they're in their case, they're technically turned off, they'll randomly in the middle of the night go bloop, and that's why I keep missing my alarms, is because it's going through my fucking earbuds. So I had to fully disconnect them. That's the only problem. Everything else has always been fine.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
Welcome back to another episode of Dime Comic Bros podcast. I'm your host Jacob, joined by my co-host Collin and Spencer.
Hello.
The cohort is actually present.
And we are here to talk about anything comical in our lives. Comic related. Not like humorous. Because we're a bunch of like doomers that talk comics and nothing comical ever happens. But we read comics sometimes.
It's true. It's true. Sometimes. When was the last time you read a comic?
Two weeks ago. Maybe a week ago. I don't know.
That's not bad.
I have a
It's been
feeling
wild
that
in this house.
whatever he just pointed at is going to be the one that I want to share talking point with him. No?
Nope.
You don't know
Oh,
this book exists.
I'm looking forward to hearing about this because I'm interested.
incredible. Well, then I won't be sharing my talking point. We're here to talk about Days of Future Past, the XMen movie from 2014,
Yeah.
starring everybody.
It's
All at
it's one of
once.
them timeline movies where it's like, haha, it's both. Teehee. Okay, I was whining about this for a couple of weeks, like leading up to this, because I remembered liking it on release and then disliking it because I'm a dickhead, and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was on.
Hey, you do that a lot.
I do.
I've always liked this movie. I always had a problem with the first one.
Really?
Yep.
Hmm.
That was boring as fuck. Oh, yeah, dude, there's nothing that really happens except for setup for Charles and Magneto to just be like, oh, we hate each other because of our differences, and I'm a Jew! You know? Oh, and now you're paralyzed because I just had to slay a bullet into you. His pose was Slay Queen.
That is true.
He went, ah, and he popped that pip. Whoa. Pop that
Pop, 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 pop.
pop that hip
That is true. That is true.
that he doesn't
That's
have.
Yeah. Days of Future Past opens on a great note with going back to the original trilogy timeline and just fucking everything up.
Yeah. So let's see. We start in the future where the X-Men are being hunted down by Tresks. What are they called?
Sentinels.
Yes, thank you. Sentinel
They're
robots.
funny. They're funny ones who are goopy and can transform and stuff, which is
Yeah, they're not the typical purple ones that we're used to, but those do show up in the movie.
On launch, people hated the design, and then they watched it, and they're like, oh, these guys are scary as fuck.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they didn't show the like traditional Sentinel design that is from the 70s in the like promotional material.
No.
It was just showing the cool ones in the future, and it's like, well, those look nothing like what I'm familiar with.
Exactly.
But yeah, those are real cool. It's nice to see some of the returning characters, despite the fact that like Last Stand was a mixed pile of mixed. It was nice to get some level of follow up to that.
But then Kitty Pryde uses her powers to send Wolverine's consciousness back to his old form, back in time, and he has to use his old body to get the band back together and try to change the path, the timeline to the one that doesn't lead to the one they're in right now. And timeline hijinks happened. I like it's easy enough to follow. There were a couple of times where I was like, whoa, that was exposition that seems important, but I don't really care. Like, at this point, I'm so far into the movie, like, I bought it. You don't need to keep selling me on how the timeline works. And I kind of wonder if that's part of what went wrong with Loki season 2 or some of this multiverse bullshittery, where it's like they're getting too lost in the weeds. But this movie's like, it stays on point. Like, it does it well, and it's easy enough to follow, and it's fun at the same time.
It's a first.
That is true. I also think that's a common element with X-Men time travel stories is, despite the fact that they're like universe shattering in scope, they still only focus on the X-Men portion of it, so it feels a lot more contained. It's like, you know, we go back, we do the one thing different, and then it's like, up, new timeline is different now, and then they just move forward, and it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of different people here now. Whatever, who cares? That mansion is a revolving door.
I was impressed with how good this movie still looks. Like, the effects are still banging.
It's 11 years old. That's nuts.
I mean, it's really not. We've just decreased in, like,
quality.
CGI.
Oh, 100%.
Quality.
That's
CGI
what I
ass.
was leading towards. Is like, this would put to shame most of the past several movies that we've had.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It had time to bake.
Yeah.
This movie had some tough competition back in 2014. It came out the same year as Captain America Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, shit,
Yeah. 2014 was a good-ass year.
So it's like, I was thinking about it today. It's like, it's frustrating looking back in time to think of, like, the fans complaining about this movie and not liking it. And then here we are just with slop every year.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
An unusual note for the X-Men films. I quite like the costuming in this one. First Class was one of the ones that I did like a lot because I like the uniform vibe. But this one, especially in the future, despite having it's not the future for us anymore because it's in 2023. In the I guess present day, whatever. They have the Edgelord black suits, but there's still a lot of color contained within them.
Like Wolverine's.
Yeah,
Wolverine's so looking back, I'm like, actually, that's a pretty sick suit.
It's pretty solid. I wouldn't like want to see it all the time, but it's a good representation of like kind of what a lot of the Fox movies were doing, and also tossing some color in it. But then it's like, but it's still dark and Edgelord bullshit. And I don't know. That worked pretty well. The suits in the past
also
are
the
weird.
textures on them too.
Yes, he looks very touchable.
I still don't. I don't know. I'm still not sure how I feel about Magneto picking up the entire baseball stadium to put it around the fight. That seems kind of dumb.
Nah, bro. He's clout chasing. Let him do it.
Nah, bro, it's a comic book movie. Let them do fucking comic book shit, okay? We barely get that ever.
He's a drama queen. Just let him do it.
Seriously, he is the most drama queen. He is like one of the most gayest straight men I've ever seen.
It's true. Like, he wears a helmet. He loves his purple and red and like pinkish sometimes, especially in the 90s.
And
he
a
has
big purple cape.
Flowing silver hair. Dude,
Let him super gay, but he's super straight.
It's very entertaining. My dude is just. Why not pick up an entire baseball stadium? Also, they had the top last stand where they picked up the entire Golden Gate Bridge.
That's true.
Which was also really unnecessary, but it was cool.
The slow motion scene with what's his face, Quicksilver, is still
stupid good.
Yes,
dude.
Unbelievable.
Quicksilver was always the highlight of of those movies once they introduced him.
100%.
Absolutely. Which one was it? Like in Apocalypse,
that movie's Saving Grace.
Oh yeah, dude, that whole scene of him just saving the entire fucking school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But in this, I forgot he was introduced in this movie.
Yeah.
So we got to see all that, and people kept debating on like, how do you think that his tape player works? Do you think it works?
I don't care.
Yeah, it's like, I don't give a shit.
It's cool.
Exactly.
It's too bad that there were so many debates back then about like how are they going to have two Quicksilvers in the MCU at the same time, and then we just got neither of them. They both kill.
Yep.
We got the worst
Ralph
timeline.
Boner, anyone?
Yeah, exactly.
One of the two things in that show that was really dumb.
Yeah, why
It was
his name
so good.
Ralph Boner?
It was so good right up until that. Oh. This is like definitely top 3 X-Men movies.
Going from I might actually hate this movie to top 3, everybody.
Let me grow and evolve, okay? Character development.
You are an X-Man. A mutant anyway.
Yeah, actually, if either of us 3 were a mutant, it would be Spencer. He would be the fucking mutant.
He's got a little bit of the tism, but he's really strong. We're gonna call him a mutant, and everybody's gonna be happy.
Spencer would be a mutant. You would get powers from a radioactive something. Radioactive chainfall or something. And then I would just get no powers at all. I would just be a lackey. I'd be the guy in the chair.
You would be a goon.
I would be the goon. I'd become a supervillain. Called Splooge.
The radioactive loop and suddenly get superpowers.
Yeah.
He's like Spider-Man, except the webbing just comes out of his butt.
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
Oh man. All right. So I don't know where I scored this one. Yeah, probably top 3. Probably.
Solid 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other X-Men movie. First Class is still my favorite. I don't know what competes for second or third.
It's
probably X1, to be honest.
It's this X2 and First Class, easy.
That's actually difficult.
Does Logan count?
No.
No,
that's a different category.
Does the Wolverine count?
No, the only one that would count is X-Men Origins.
And that doesn't count because it's so far in hell.
My scoring would probably be this one, X1, and X2. I think that's
Yeah.
Wow.
I think those 3 in no particular order.
Look at us with the Venn diagram of overlap. Aren't we cool?
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about this movie.
Nah, I'm chilling. You had a good ass time.
I mean, sometimes I felt like Mystique was kind of weird. Like, why was she the one that was kicking things off?
I actually liked that change from the book.
Too.
Fair. It's weird because Jennifer Lawrence's performance flip-flops between really good and like pretty phoned in In this movie, I thought she did really well in First Class. This one's but I liked her being more intrinsic to this plot line based on as in comparison to the book, because she was such like a large part of First Class. It felt like continuing both sides of the characters.
I think it also kind of harkens back to in the comics when she's like hero and villain or anti-hero or whatever, where it's like they're kind of trying to prevent the timeline where she becomes the bad guy for a minute. So it might be unintentional, but I still kind of like that.
I have one last note, which I just need to tell you two.
I love Short Man.
Yes. Peter Dinklage is great, as always. I heard this in something completely and utterly unrelated. JFK is America's dead wife in a flashback. If America, however you want to frame it, we are John Wick. In the beginning of the movie, when we are just going back to like, oh my gosh, something we can remember that was good, it was JFK.
9/11 is the dog.
Well, yeah.
So you're telling me you read Department of Truth Volume 5?
No, it was completely unrelated. It's just because this also involves JFK. It's like, oh yeah, right, our dead wife. What have you been reading?
I read the lotion bottle in the bathroom when I was taking a shit. I read Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 1.
Oh, fuck, yeah, that's...
by Denise Camp and illustrated by Javier Rodriguez. It was released March 26th of this year.
Give me a second, I'm following suit.
I hate both of you.
You still haven't read it?
No.
You dodo.
Dumb. Who the fuck are you?
I'm gonna continue while you're looking.
Okay.
This issue opens up with a guy that is in the urgent care, and he's being taken care of after being a part of or a victim of a cafeteria bombing. And there's this weird thing that's happening in the urgent care. They're like, okay, you seem pretty good. You're all bandaged up and you can leave now. And he's like, but what's with all the smoke or whatever? And the art is really weird. And as he's going through life, he's distracted and things aren't really... The story beats are kind of disjointed. And he's trying to investigate the events of this bombing. And as the book goes on, more and more of this smoke that he is referring to fills up the pages. Until the final issue.
Me.
Why would you fold your comic book like that, you savage?
Because it's a fucking single issue.
The final couple pages, he collapses and he's like, I feel funny. And spoilers. The bottom of the second to last page.
You have a copy and you haven't even read it?
He said that 2 weeks ago.
I've been busy.
The second to last page says, this next page, the closing page, is special. It's kind of flat and boring, and it's just a picture of our guy. But you hold it up to the sunlight, and it reveals what's happening on the other plane of existence with all the smoke. It's like putting the glasses on and they live. It's so fucking cool.
Dude, I've never seen this in a comic book ever.
It reveals, like, the Martian Manhunter, I assume, like, hovering over his body. It is like, I am him. It's just, it's so gimmicky, but it's so cool. And the artwork in this book is just incredible. It just makes the story so much weirder. like even the colors bleed through the page when you have a light behind that page. It's awesome.
It is so good. It is so fucking good. It's actually it is probably like one of my favorite comic book issues this year. It is
In quite a while.
Yeah, in quite a while too.
Considering the first printing sold out and they immediately got pushed for another 6 issues, I am not surprised whatsoever.
Dude, it's just so cool because they separated the characters. That's what it feels like. I mean, you don't entirely know exactly. You don't know if this is occurred because of this of his accident. You don't know if this accident awoke him. You don't know if he crash landed as Martian Manhunter and he lived a life, had no idea who he was until this accident. You don't know. All you know is that they're separated.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like if he's confused because of the accident. He's always smoking, which is kind of weird because Martian Manhunter classically is adverse to fire.
Exactly.
But I kind of took this issue for the most part, as I was like trying to figure it out, is like he's possessed by the Martian Manhunter, whoever this guy is. It's really weird. It's kind of like
that's how I feel.
A Venom or something.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, and you have no idea how they're even connected or why.
Colors and artwork are just incredible. This issue is definitely worth it, and I immediately list. This is exceptional.
Dude, it's been a while too with like a comic having this many solid colors that aren't mixed together just pop at you. Like they're like Martian Manhunter himself is like the colors are cut. They're not like mixed in. They're literally like boom, here's a line, and it's like this mosaic.
That was one of the things that I was really looking forward to when they started releasing some of the teaser pages from the artist. Was like, it's despite the fact that like it sounds like there's some complicated like ways they are printing it physically for some weird effects, like the actual artistry in terms of the coloring is very classic. Like it's very simple, but there's a lot you can do with that to like evolve the medium, and that seems really fucking cool. Especially because I'm sure that framing will probably break in like 2 issues, and then it will turn into something else entirely.
I have a note here in my phone from a couple of weeks ago saying Collin has to review X-Men Evolutions.
X-Men Evolutions. Do I have that one?
That's the animated show.
Oh! That's on my list.
You haven't picked it up since we talked about it, have you? Because you went on like a nut fest for a minute.
X-Men Evolutions. Oh, this is not Wolverine and the X-Men.
No. Oh, that one's also great.
That one's also really good. Yeah, so I finished season 1 of X-Men Evolution.
Yep.
Pray do tell us, what is this show?
Oh, it's been a while. Dude, it's just a story about, of course, X-Men, and, you know, in the first couple episodes, they're collecting this roster of X-Men. We start out with already having Jean Grey and Cyclops. They're the younger ones. They're the actual, like, teens. And we already have, of course, Charles Xavier, and we have Storm, and Wolverine. And we get more and more like some of these characters that they're like traditional, and then some of them are kind of like newer characters I've never really heard of or cared for. But it just, you know, brings the X-Men back to being teenagers, and basically it's teenagers pinned up against teenagers because what's her face? Or pinned against, sorry. What's her face? Mystique is like the evil Charles Xavier version, and she's got her evil children who live in a shitty house, and she's got a mansion of a room. It kind of just feels like, you know, your Saturday. It's obviously what it is, and what it feels like is your typical Saturday morning superhero teens fight superhero teens, and there's a big bad who thinks he's good, and they show you that he's a big bad.
Tell me why Wolverine is so cool in this show.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Wolverine is literally the best because this is like one of the best versions of Wolverine ever, meaning that Wolverine shouldn't... Do you hear that too?
Can you mute your mic for a second?
It is muted.
And unmute it.
That is so weird.
I thought it was a train, and now I think it's a ghost. All right.
What did you hear?
I hope that got recorded so he gets to hear that when he's editing.
Yeah, that was wild.
What was it?
It sounded like
a train.
A train or a plane.
And now, I think we let the tiger out of the cage on accident.
I think you're both tripping.
I don't know. Demons follow me. Anyways, the nuns are here. So.
I did that to the last time we
will
recorded.
Bring them to this house.
Spencer kept looking over his shoulder. I was like, "Oh, so you see the nun in your closet?" He was like, "What?"
So Wolverine's the best because he's not like a peer to the kids, and he's their PE / like history teacher. That's what it feels like.
Imagine Wolverine teaching you sex ed.
Oh jeez. But like
he'd probably know how to do it better than everybody else in the school.
Actually, he probably would. He'd probably be the best one. I don't know. He's just fantastic. He it just feels like he is that lonely uncle with cool shit vibes. Because every now and then he'll leave and have his own little adventure of like trying to deal with past shit and deal with had to come to terms with not remembering or shit like that. This is just the best version. The suit kind of annoys me because it's like super fucking orange. That's the only thing that annoys me. Also that he's tall. But besides that, he's like the perfect Wolverine in a cartoon.
How many seasons of Evolution is there?
Dude, I don't know. I think there's 3 or 4.
That's what I was thinking.
There's a lot.
Damn, bruh. Did you just move on to Wolverine and the X-Men without finishing?
No, I just stopped.
Okay.
There's so much in the first season. I'm like, I have things I need to do.
That's so fair.
And never came back.
Nice. On a very different note, almost kind of swinging back into absolute Martian Manhunter a little bit, kind of. I read Enigma, which is an 8-issue miniseries from Vertigo in 1993. It is written by Peter Mulligan with art by Duncan Fegretto. This was a gift from one of our patrons, actually. Duncan Fegretto is one of my favorite illustrators by a wide margin. Always has incredible panel layouts and a really weird, scratchy artwork that sometimes is too messy, but very frequently is extremely gross and trippy in a way that there are very few people who can emulate it. So pretty much anything he's worked on, I will read at some point before I die. It follows just an average Joe, just a dude who lives a boring life and is boring. And then weird shit starts happening. Average comic book introduction. Weird characters start appearing in the city around him. Like a bizarre, like comic book creature villain things, like weird abstract conceptualizations, but as people who do murder and stuff. And that's really scary because it's like, ooh, it's the 90s and crime and stuff. And there's the book opens up with a guy like eating somebody else's brains. Because he's the head or the brain, I don't remember. But he gets smarter when he eats people's brains or whatever. And as the issues go on, we come to understand that effectively this guy has a really weird tangential connection to a comic book from his childhood that wasn't finished, that all of these creatures are coming out of, because of course. And after about the halfway point, the comic ended in the real world, quote unquote, for them. So then the entity that is kind of creating these real world manifestations, which basically just take over real people and they embody them until they die, starts creating them wholesale, like through the vibe effectively of the book, of the influence of like, well, what would the creator do next? And it continues to play out plot points. Then this dude goes and meets the creator of the book. They have some weird back and forth. The dude wants nothing to do with it. He thinks it's dog shit because he's like, yeah, I worked on that like 25 years ago while I was broke and high as hell. It doesn't mean anything. It's garbage. And they have to go on this weird road trip of trying to stop incidents before they happen, as well as trying to sort out what the weird metaphysics is going on. Also, the hero of the book appears and starts killing all the bad guys, because of course he does. And that's a weird connection that I don't want to get into because it spoils a lot. This thing is weird as fuck. It is like a comic book in the best and worst ways, in terms of Vertigo in the 90s, in a good way. It's very edgelord. It's very gross in a fun and comprehensive fashion, but it's also so about the medium that it's in. It's a weird speculation on the nature of absorbing media as a child, and it's a whole mess in a good sense. It's also one of the very few miniseries where I actually feel like each individual issue is unique. Something that doesn't happen very often for me is reading, 4 to like 12 issues and being like, oh, every single one either had a different framing device, a different setup, a different vibe, or a different aesthetic. Usually there's like clusters of them. They're little arcs or something like that. This one, every single issue was ending on a weird cliffhanger or new decision, and every single one would then either pick up in an entirely different spot, so you'd have tension up until like the midway point of the issue, trying to figure out what the hell happened between the 2 points, or extenuous flashbacks to other characters that really threw me for a loop. There were a couple of back-to-back issues, I believe, like 5, 6, and 7, I think. I read them in one sitting, and I was like losing my marbles, and then I went back and read the issues back to back again because I was making really bizarre connections throughout. It was a weird experience. If you're really into comic books, you should read this. If you're not into comic books, I don't think you're gonna get it.
I'll try it. It sounds good.
I think both of you guys would like it to some extent or another. It's very, yes, smelling its own farts, very, but what do comics even mean, though? And what about characters and people? And I don't know. It's so all over the place. The artwork is fantastic. Again, Fregretto is phenomenal. I'm not familiar with Mulligan at all, so I'm going to go check through his bibliography to see if I can find any other interesting reads as well. I cover.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember him finding that for you.
Yes, I got it for free because it was a gift, which was great. Because it's a Vertigo book from the 90s, I'm gonna guess it's probably not super expensive to find. They printed a lot of this stuff before Vertigo went under. I believe it's available in 2 trades and a hardcover, I think. Maybe it's a trade and hardcover. I don't know. It's definitely in print somewhere. It's one of those books. You can't really put a number on it. You can't really compare it to much. In a similar sense to Kid Eternity a few weeks ago, which was also art by Fregretto. I'm sensing a pattern here. Yeah, this was cool as fuck.
I read Blood Hunt.
Ooh.
It is a 5-issue Marvel event. Started in May of last year, written by Jed McKay and penciled by Pepe Larraz and colored by Marte Gracia. I read this sooner than I wanted to because I'm reading through the Nolan North Fantastic Four series, and this crossed over with that because, of course, so to not be completely confused about what's going on, and also to avoid spoilers because that would have happened, I read this so I could understand that.
Did you read the Red Band edition like you've been wanting to?
No, I read it
Ooh.
the freaking regular version on Marvel's app because they don't have the good version. They only have the kid-friendly version because, of course, stupid, dumb, and gay.
Speaking of dumb and gay and vampires,
This has nothing to do with you.
I was gonna say Sinners is coming out really soon, and that's getting a really good reception. And
I want to watch that.
It was actually shot on IMAX. Anyways,
This spins out of a couple of series with Blade, also written by Jed McKay at the time, I believe, and Moon Knight, which might have been Jed McKay as well. I'm not sure.
Moon Knight was Jed McKay. Blade was Brian Hill.
Okay. So, and I think also Doctor Strange had a pretty heavy influence leading into this too.
That was also Jed McKay.
Oh my gosh. The vampire Illuminati darkens the sky so that the vampires can take over the entire world all at the same time and make more vampires. And it was kind of messy, to be honest. It was kind of A to B to C for the most part. Like, it's just like chaos because there's vampires everywhere and everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. But the main plot was like, there's vampires, and then these characters interact, and this is important in the future, and then here's the setup for the next event. It was kind of just like a good monster movie that is quick and to the point. There's vampires eating people, and it moves the plot along for the Marvel Universe to bring on One World Under Doom, and there it is. Like, it was good. The artwork was really, really good. I was wishing that I had access to the Red Band version because I could see the frames where it's like, and here's where the blood's gonna be. But there was a cape in the way. Like, I don't know. This Red Band thing is so weird, man. Just commit or don't. The Fantastic Four side of the story is Mr. Fantastic and Alicia Bagrim's wife go on an adventure, and then they get caught by the vampires. Well, caught in the city as the vampires take over, and then Mr. Fantastic has to like stretch himself over an entire building to keep people safe. And it was kind of weird. It was kind of funny because he stretches himself too thin.
And then he can get popped.
There were a couple of cool frames in that where it was like the vampires are chewing like a rubber tire, basically. Like, they can't pierce his skin. It was kind of funny.
Was this just the main 5 issues, or were you reading the tie-ins, or what?
No, I only did the 5 issues. It was
Nice.
cool because they had the roadmap that I like in the back of each issue of like, okay, here's the 17 things to go read before the next issue. It's like,
Was it coherent without reading the tie-ins? Is important.
I think so. It's more important to be reading the stuff before it, like Blade and Moon Knight, to understand like the vampire Illuminati and whatever. Like, where did they come from? Why are they doing this? Most of the event was just like, there's vampires creating chaos and we need to stop it. Shit. Dope.
Shit. Here we go again.
I read this for free-ish with my Marvel Unlimited membership. It was worth it. I definitely plan to go back. It was simple enough for a first reading to be like, all right, I got what I needed and I got out. But I definitely want to read everything coming up to this and then reread it and be like, oh, that's how all this connects to get a deeper understanding.
That's good. You're getting a solid amount of use out of that app this year.
Yeah.
I might
helpful.
I might get on that. I don't want to. I hate reading digitally so much.
I have 2 comments. It's helpful, especially because of how much I travel, because I'm not lugging all of my books along with me. But I also got like a cheap Samsung tablet, like a known product that's cheap and small enough, but it's bigger than my phone and it fits the page very well. And
that's
like,
my next question was, what are you reading on? Because every once in a blue moon I'll pull up, I'll use Comixology / Kindle, which are still broken to hell.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I have to, like when we talked about Spider-Man Blue, I had to do it through that because I wasn't able to get a physical copy.
Yep.
But it's always a pain. Guided view is always broken, and I don't have a tablet because I just don't really use them.
Yeah, I went into a store and was like, that small to medium range tablet would be perfect just for reading comics. So it was like $100. It was perfect.
That's fair.
I think you would get more mileage out of the DC membership than the Marvel, because that's just how you roll. But
that's true. Might also be why I should go for the Marvel one, because I always buy DC's books. Like my DC collection is probably twice my Marvel one, and I keep trying to fix it, and I can't do it.
I can't do it because Marvel has boring books for the most part.
Yeah.
Get the Marvel membership just to read all the Moon Knight and then cancel it.
I have all the Moon
Knight. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the Jed McKay Volume 1 omnibus should be getting printed pretty soon. And I believe there's going to be a second one because that's still ongoing right now.
That's pisses me off.
Why?
Because I want omnibus of the best ones.
Those don't make it, like, the issues wise, there isn't enough to make an omnibus.
Yes, there is.
No.
There fucking is. There so is.
It's to make a heart, bro. Do you know how? Brother.
Bro, I know how fucking comics work. You can do it. You know how many of these should be omnibuses, but they fucking are? Because they shove them full with random bullshit from the artist.
Collin, what's next?
I read a shitty book. Sorry, Jeff. Jeff was looking forward to what I had to say, and I was like,
maybe next time, don't wipe your ass with it.
It's true. I mean, look, it is brown. It is Jim Mahfouz's Savage Street Vigilante by Defective Comics presents. Yep. Savage Street Vigilante. Thug Society. Basically, it's just Jim Mahfouz is wildly known for his like tank girl shit. He's got wild ass art. Basically, this is just for him to make a really shitty Batman comic about Batman going insane because of the Joker.
Wow, that's never happened before.
Yep, killing all the villains.
That's never happened before.
Robot Superman taking his spine out.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
And then him being brought back to life through Wonder Woman and RoboCop. Yep. And then Wonder Woman's like, oh, he's alive? Let me test drive him, and they fuck. And then he goes and finds the Poison Ivy, and then they fuck, and then he kills her. And then he
leave that aside so I can read it. I was gonna say like, can I borrow that? But then I remembered that we live in the same house, and I can just read it whenever the fuck I want.
Yes.
I'm gonna shit on it.
And then he found Poison Ivy, and then they fucked, and then he killed her. And then he found another person, and then they fucked, and then he killed him. And then he found Selena Kyle, and they fucked, and he was like, I'm gonna keep you alive for now. Also, apparently he has a mutant son and a daughter, and they died within the line of battle, yada yada. Eventually, he just gets to the point where he's also like, Commissioner Gordon, we're not friends.
And then fucking he kills him.
And and then they fucking he kills him. They don't actually, but Jim Mahfood is known for just like
he's an edgelord
and
in the
porn
bad way.
and
Yeah.
and I don't know why I expected more or any different. I like his stuff, but I forgot that he's mainly just like a edgelord porn guy. And then it ends with Batman's like, I need to end all crime forever and ever. So he builds a giant spaceship with a giant laser, and he blows up the Earth. And he goes out into space, and then he fights criminal aliens with a chainsaw hand and shit. It is the dumbest piece of shit thing I've read in a long time.
It sounds it.
It's.
Do you have anything you liked? Okay, those are nice thighs.
Yep, there you go.
That's it.
Yep.
Never mind. That answers the question.
How do they
look at
compare
this.
to Emma Frost and Marvel Rivals?
No one compares. Okay, that.
And then you got this.
I try not to read his stuff too much because sometimes he's a good gooner.
And then there's some weird Garfield-looking shit in here.
What the fuck, Garfield?
Yeah, dude, it's like, why the fuck is RoboCop in here?
Garfield.
So, Jacob, sorry, what were you trying to ask me?
How do the thighs compare to Emma Frost and Marvel Rivals? No, this is a scientific question, not a gooning question.
Dude, nothing can compare because of the fucking jiggle physics. And she's like way thicker than everyone else, but since she's taller, it's not like condensed. I shouldn't even be talking about this anymore. I'm a married man.
Bunk.
I can't be a gooner.
Did you buy this book?
I supported it on fucking Kickstarter.
That's rough.
Yeah, so I got this, and I got hold on. I got a little Tank Girl comic, not comic, but it's like a sketchbook. And I didn't I think I did realize at the time, and then once I finally got it, of course I wanted gooner shit. When I supported this, and then once I finally got it, I started dating my girlfriend, and I was like, I don't feel right having this anymore. And then I also got a sticker and a patch that I gave to Spencer. Because I don't wear
Which,
patches.
now that I know the context of, I'm probably not going to use.
It's a cool fucking patch.
It's okay.
I like it.
It's alright.
I just don't wear patches.
Alright, Spencer, wrap us up.
I read another stinky book.
I'm surprised.
Damn. You will be surprised what character it is, though. I can condense it all down, so don't lose your shit. I read volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of The Hellblazer, which is the 2016 rebirth version of Constantine.
Yeah, I have those.
They're all not
think
good.
Collin read those like early into the show and ranted about how stinky they were.
Yeah, they're like coherent, but that's about it.
They're boring.
So yeah.
The art's great.
I disagree strongly. I hate Moratat's art so fucking much.
Oh, I remember correctly. They're right here.
His dumpy almost touched the microphone.
Yeah, and the same artist does.
Oh, I'm remembering everything incorrectly.
Yeah, the same artist. There's one issue in there. Yeah, okay. There's two primary illustrators.
Yeah, this was so bad I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it.
There we go. Okay, so there's 4 volumes. The first 2, so it's a total of 24 issues and like a DC Rebirth special, prelude, basically. The first 2 volumes are written by Simon Oliver, and the second 2 are written by Tim Seeley. Another one of those guys I'm constantly shitting on that I don't want to shit on because I don't see a reason to, but everything I read from him isn't good.
That's shit. So he's shit.
The initial premise of this run, outside of further integration of the Vertigo books into mainline DC continuity, which was after Dark Knight's Metal brought in Dream for like 3 seconds to kind of further solidify the Vertigo stuff, which was cool. the initial premise is that Constantine has to leave London because he fucked up a deal with a demon, and that's a great concept. That's the prelude, and then he gets to go back to London immediately for the other 24 issues, and that's the whole run. Like on Goodreads, like the pitch for the run is like he has to leave London and go to America, and that just doesn't really happen, which is disappointing to say the least. The characterization is fine, and that's the only real thing that this run in its entirety has going for it. The plot is there's two main plot lines. Both writers clearly had their own intentions for the run, and they don't even try to smush them together. It's just 12 issues of one thing, it abruptly stops. 12 issues of another thing. That's it. Both plots are fine at best. The specifics don't even fucking matter. When I read it, it feels like Constantine. Like that's the one thing I can say it consistently has going for it, is it feels like it's like, oh yes, he definitely had this escapade. That's it. Because the plot is boring. Most of the characters are boring at best. There's a couple of new side characters that are excessively boring. And the art is primarily done by it is Moritat in the first 12 issues is the primary artist, and who fucking did the other ones? Some other dude. It all sucks. I'm sorry.
It's all ass.
The only issue that I thought had decent artwork was the DC Rebirth number 0 prelude that was setting up the run. That one was okay. Everything else is Moritat's is pencil and ink, and it's still stinky. It just, the faces are bad, the proportions are bad. I'm sorry, it's bad.
Somehow this guy got a job. Hold on. Somehow this guy got a job at DC, and he's doing things. Why? Yeah, on a, I guess, structural level, the panel layout is acceptable, and the panel-to-panel layout functions. That's the bare fucking. I know. I'm just trying to say, it's I get that this isn't, incoherent dog shit. I've seen some books, whenever those random ass YouTubers who have no actual artistic credit decide to make a comic of their OCs, that stuff is incoherently bad. They're randomly changing positions between panels. There's no action. There's no 180 scene.
Nothing. All of the layout is bad. This is, functional. But that's it. There's just nothing artistically interesting pretty much ever, whether it's lighting, inking, or coloring. On top of the pencils, nothing's good here.
You know what's better than this stinky book? You know what stinky Hellblazer book is better? The one by Sean Murphy, because the art's good. That is the only
that is the next one on my list, because it's the only non-canonical Constantine story.
There you go. You can read it. It's right there.
I know. Yeah, there's nothing here, man. I was looking forward to this because I was hoping, they weren't received atrociously. They weren't very popular. They obviously got it. The writer switched out. It got canceled after 24 issues. But 24 issues is a decent run, so sales must have been okay. And I was hoping for being able to pop in on what was Constantine up to during, Rebirth, because everything since Vertigo got absorbed into DC has been moderately confusing in terms of canonicity and whatever. And then once Black Label got started, everything's been really clean and tidy and fucking incredible since then, which has been cool. So I'm what about this weird period in the middle where the character got rebooted a bunch of times and blah, 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 blah. And it's bad. It's just bad. He's noticeably older, I guess, is the only real difference in the characterization. Not old, but he's not just a scrungly degenerate. He's also in his early 40s scrungly degenerate. So it's he will make note of the fact one of the characters he will go team up with is a 20-something who is the child of someone he hooked up with 20 years ago. Not that it's magically his kid or whatever. It's just oh, I did know your mom back when she was hot. So that's really it. It's just yeah, plot bad, art bad. Ugly, stinky, not fun, not entertaining. I read all 4 of these books in one sitting because as soon as I got through the first few issues, I went, this is not going to be good. Let's just go for it.
Gay, 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 gay. F-slur.
Yeah. I bought these for cover price from Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah. Oh no, Spencer, my boy.
Oh no, bro! I wasted so much money. This was like $60. Yeah.
Stairway is very happy to be rid of them.
That is fair. I believe they're out of print right now. You can just find them places because their physical editions exist. It's just not popular enough to keep it in print. I get why. Yeah, it's $16 to $20 per cover for 4 of them. It's on my shelf. I guess they'll stay there so I can reference them, but that's about it. Zero desire to go back to these. Like the limited series that Tom Taylor did for Black Label, a writer who I quite like, who had artwork done by Scott Derrickson, someone who I don't like but I respect. Like, I will go back to that book. I had nothing terribly positive to say about it other than, man, Tom Taylor really hates billionaires, which is cool, and all that is normal for him. But like, nothing else for that book was very interesting. That I'll at least go back to because maybe I misjudged it. Maybe I'm not understanding some Tom Taylor deep shit. I don't know. Bro, you also like Tom Taylor. Shut the fuck up.
Nope, I don't. Shut the fuck up, I don't. F-slur, F-slur, F-slur.
Spencer is literally pointing to Mr. Miracle right now.
That's Tom King. No, I was actually pointing to Nightwing, the 4-year-long run that just ended that Collin has all the hardcovers of.
I was so excited.
Which is already getting printed in an omnibus, which makes me happy.
Yeah, but guess what? I've been following it on trades. So I have to stay with that.
Yeah, I get that. That's why I didn't get on trades, was because I was like, oh, this one's popular enough, it's gonna get an omnibus like that. And it's like, oh, yep, volume 1's coming out like this year. I'm like, yes. They go.
No, I would have waited. No. I have another book I'm going to be reading soon. I'm very excited. It's in my hands. It's in my grasp right now.
Ooh.
It's a pick from Kyle because I was like, I need a Western. He's like, oh, dude, there's this really cool, this artist, right? I'm like, yeah, I love him and that. He's like, oh, yeah, I know you do. Oh, you want a Western? Guess what? You can have both in this comic called Above Snakes.
Dude, I love going in when I'm super bored.
Cover ass.
Yeah.
Inside good.
I love going into Jetpack super bored or hungover or both and being like, Kyle, I need a random book. Gimme.
This happens.
Him and Rich always give me good recommendations.
Dude, they have never steered me wrong once. It's wild.
Speaking of Jetpack, thank you to our partners over at Jetpack Comics and Games in downtown Rochester, New Hampshire. If you want a good book recommendation, go there. Or honestly, any local comic book shop. But Jetpack is goated with the sauce. Buy your books local because Amazon sucks. The world is ending. Please kill me. Go to Jetpack. We'll live there. We can all live in Jetpack.
So wide, so tall.
That's because everything's proportionally large to you.
Dick puke goes everywhere.
I don't like that sentence. I'm very uncomfy with it.
I learned the term dick puke from Josh. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I said that to my wife the other day. She's like, please don't ever say that to me again. The love of God.
No bueno. Also, a thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/dimecomicbros network. Caitlin and Jeff Lawrence give us money every month so we can semi-consistently, maybe 1 in 3 times, actually get shit out on time and kind of coherent.
And also the bonus episode that we might do every once in a while. We suck.
Also that boner episode.
Boner episode? Yeah. Where? Ralph Boner?
Please kill me.
If you want to help support this show, it would be greatly appreciated. You get a bunch of cool stuff, like sometimes early access and sometimes exclusive releases, as well as cool artwork and stickers done by Collin, the talented one here. Also, a shout out to Collin's current release, The Space Adventure Issue 2, which is kind of available if you send him a DM, but not really, but kind of. If
you somehow get a hold of me, I may give you the ability to buy an issue, but I have to make them in the new binding.
The current printing is not available for purchase, but it will be somewhat soonish, so it'll be linked somehow. Because he makes good books and you should buy them.
I forgot I drew comics.
Sometimes you do that.
Yeah.
You forget a lot of things.
Yeah, I do.
Are you okay?
No.
That's fair. That's fair. What's in that cup?
Water. It's water that don't freeze.
Next week is Dime Gaming Bros.
Yeah. Oh gosh, video games. Video games are scary.
Have you played a game this month yet?
I have. Don't worry.
I've been
Wow.
playing games. I've been making Batmobiles and Batwings on Minecraft.
Shut up. You're not included in this show.
I'm going to talk about how I made working Batwing and Batmobile.
I would
Which
spend
one of the best?
$20 to see Collin in a typical Minecraft theater viewing right now. Blood would be drawn. He would make that Minecraft.
I'll drive
Peter.
you so you can be drunk.
This coming weekend, I'm not going shit anywhere. I've been gone. Except for I'm supposed to be going to a movie on Friday.
I started the last level of my game and got my ass handed to me. So
Ooh.
this is going to be
Wait.
great.
Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yep.
Oh, he's...
Yes.
Oh.
It's the anime villains that just don't stop juggling me. It's great. I love it.
For once I remembered because you actually told me.
You got bored of getting stuck in Lindell?
Yeah, Elden Ring's on pause for a little bit.
Fair enough. I felt bad because I was like, oh, I wish I could play right now.
I'm strongly considering now that you guys have mostly finished setting your shit up, once I'll get my shit set up this week, I might do that, but exclusively when you're not here, just so I can have my own time free of criticism.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck, because you live with me and Connor now.
Mhm.
We're gonna tell you how you're fucking up on everything.
Well, you see, that's the
it.
thing is Connor's like a considerate normal person, and he probably won't be talking shit all day. Also, he goes to bed in the afternoon.
Well, just get ready. Once he gets comfortable with you, he's gonna talk mad shit.
I get the freaking bad guys mixed up in Elden Ring because they all sound the same. I made it to a boss room and I was like, that's a boss room, and I have no more like Estes left at all. I'm not gonna go in there, and it's a good thing because I was like 20 levels under. But
What's he look like?
he's a ghost of a villain that you actually fight later for real. Godric.
Oh, Margit.
Is it?
Nope. He's a ghost. Wait, are you stuck in a Everjail?
No. I was exploring the city.
Yep, that's Margit.
Far north. I had to like climb this big ass tree branch to get to him.
Oh, that's Lord Godfrey. Yep.
Yeah. But
Yes.
you fight the actual Godfrey later, but this is just first Elden Lord, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Is Ghost. So I was like, no, I do that later. And then I found out that I was like way under level for the area up to that point.
Okay, as a spellcaster, yeah, you're under level, but if you had a weapon that you could do solid heavy attacks with, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Collin, hit me over the head.
I saw his moveset on YouTube. I was like, that's actually not that bad, but
Collin, hit me over the head. Right now.
bonk, 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 bonk,
Hit
bonk.
me.
Bonk.
Collin.
No, he's gooning right on.
Collin
on your
hit me.
back.
Damn.
Collin.
What
hit
are we
me.
looking
I
at?
think she lost weight.
Yes, she did. Collin, hit me now. Thank you.